Hey everybody, welcome to our Land of Enchantment adventure. Adan and I had been planning this trip for a couple months, and we were really excited to get started. I loaded up the KTM up on the trailer and headed toward Dallas. When I got to Dallas, we loaded up Adan's 310 GS into the back of his Honda Ridgeline and attached the trailer, and we were ready to roll. We were so glad to be trailering as the weather looked like it was going to be extremely hot and windy. We hit the road early and headed on to Carlsbad, New Mexico. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we hope you enjoy our adventure. As we rolled into Carlsbad, we realized that we're probably going to be battling the wind and the heat for the next couple of days, so we made the decision to start off tomorrow doing the Guadalupe Rim and just doing that section of the New Mexico BDR and then coming back to Carlsbad just to kind of get our feet underneath us and just get some experience on some of the dirt. Many of you don't know, but we are relatively new to this dual sport thing. And doing the New Mexico BDR, we wanted to enjoy ourselves, but also did not want to hurt ourselves. As we took off on that next day, we headed over to Queen, which we were hoping to get some breakfast, but they were closed or having some kind of water issue. So we moved on and did the Guadalupe Rim. It was really washboarded out, nothing more than gravel, dirt road. It was a lot of fun, good scenery, good way to get our feet underneath us without having to worry about getting into too rough of stuff. But we really did have a good time. It was warm by the end of the afternoon, but we knew that was going to happen. So we just took our time, stayed hydrated, and just enjoyed the being out in the middle of nowhere. We did not run into any other traffic the entire day while on the Guadalupe Rim. And so we just kind of took our time and did some sightseeing and that sort of thing. We finished up in Mayhill, had some lunch, and then did the slab thing back to Carlsbad. It was a fun day and a good way to get started on the New Mexico BDR. Monday rolled around and we jumped out of bed and really excited to start the journey. We left Carlsbad. It was already starting to get warm and the wind was really blowing. We headed up to 285 over to Artesia. By the time we got to Artesia, the wind was really out of control. Actually, it was to the point where you couldn't get off your motorcycle because the motorcycle would basically blow over. As we headed up 82 and started getting closer toward Weed, we started to recognize that the scenery was starting to change and it was becoming beautiful. We would start this journey this morning in Mayhill having breakfast, and then after that, we'd jump down into Weed and start the New Mexico BDR section from there. We were greeted with a beautiful ride, and we're not disappointed to have started this way instead of going through Guadalupe Rim and then trying to finish this up in the rest of the day. We had a really good time, really enjoyed the scenery. When we got over toward Cloudcroft, we did jump off and take the Sunspot Road, which is always fun. And that's what's really cool about the New Mexico BDR is you can jump on and off the road, get in the dirt, that sort of thing. It gave us a little bit of a break, and I have to say we really enjoyed the fact that we could jump off the dirt from time to time and get a break. We had a fantastic day riding in the Lincoln Forest and just taking in the New Mexico scenery. We really enjoyed today's ride, and this is what, to me, what a BDR is all about. We were doing okay until we ran into section 329, heading up into Mescalero. Got really rocky. We made a couple bad decisions. Nobody dropped their bike, but it sure took us a long time to get out of here. These pictures don't do it justice. It was a pretty steep little climb, but we finally made it out and made it into Ruidoso. We were really tired. We stayed at the Arrowhead Hotel and just enjoyed the evening. We were looking forward to what tomorrow would bring. We woke up this fine morning to a beautiful sunrise, and we were really excited for the day. Little did we know what the day had to offer. We went into Ruidoso and had a breakfast burrito at Zuko Coffee or Zoka coffee, and it was really, really good. The day started off very well. We started off with some switchbacks and that sort of thing. Nothing real problematic, and we actually did pretty well on it. Just really beautiful scenery through this part of the ride, and we really enjoyed what we were getting into. The weather was beautiful, and the scenery was even better. Today started out looking like it was going to be a fabulous day. The morning was just beautiful. After you got off the first section of Switchbacks, you run into a bunch of farmland that you're going in and out of people's ranches. The biggest thing you got to worry about is the cattle running around. Adan found out about that as he went around a left-hand switchback, and a cow came running down out of the hill, and after Adan said a few bad words over the intercom, he caught his breath and realized that he was okay, but that cow could have done some damage. Going through this ranch land was very pretty. We just kind of took it easy and kind of prepared ourselves for what was coming up, as we knew that the sandy section was coming up, and I don't know if either one of us were really looking forward to that. But this part of it, of the New Mexico BDR, was very pretty. Got to really be careful of the cows. One thing we did learn is the more mature cows could care less that you were there. It's the little ones you had to worry about, as they freaked out when you rode by. But man, it was just beautiful. The weather was wonderful. We were out of the heat. Just a great way to start the day. Little did we know what would happen in the next hour or so. But at this time, we were feeling good and really happy that we were on the New Mexico BDR. After you do a little bit of slabbing on 380, you venture off and you get off on A153. This is where the fun began. I guess you could call it fun for us on this glorious day. As we turned onto the road, the first thing we realized was the road was very washboarded out, and it was not going to be a very comfortable ride. As we continued down the road, we really didn't think it was going to be that bad. It was rough to the point where it basically rattled off Adan's horn, and it stripped out one of my mirrors. But other than that, it was going okay. It got a little sandy right there, a little out of control there. But this was nothing as to what it would look like later on down the road. We continued down this road probably 11 miles or so before it really turned into sand. And that's where the trouble began. And I had a little bit of a get off there. It didn't bother me. I wasn't hurt or anything. I just kind of dropped it in the sand. But the idea of another 35 miles of this was not making me feel too happy. So after a little bit of a discussion and knowing that it already took us an hour and 20 minutes to go about 10 miles, we decided to go back and hit the slab and kind of work our way around the long way. I really did appreciate Adan being flexible here, as I don't think either one of us was really having a good time. But we headed back, and I'm kind of glad we did. Like I said, boy, the road was really washboarded out, and it only got sandier and worse the further we went. So next time I'll give it a try. Probably didn't have the right tires. Adan's knobbies did very well. I didn't have knobbies on, so it kind of hurt me a little bit, but we still had fun. Well, after backtracking and getting back on the asphalt, we hit the slab, and it did make for a long day, as we added about an extra 200 miles on, and we did about 350 miles this day. The cool thing is we did get a chance to stop by Pistachio Land in McGinn's Pistachio Land in New Mexico. So I'd never been there before. Don had done it as a kid, and so he wanted to show me that. So we stopped and had some ice cream, cooled off a little bit, actually topped off with some fuel, as Don was running a little short, and he had brought some with him. So it was all good. It was hot, very hot, but then we headed over, and our next stop was going to be White Sands, and so we were looking forward to that. We really did enjoy a stay at the White Sands Monument. It was a lot of fun. I hadn't been there since I was a kid. We then slabbed our way back to Truth or Consequences for the evening. It was rather warm by the time we got back, but we made the best of the day, and after the rough start this morning, we were pretty happy with the day. We hooked up with Meerkat ADV earlier in the day. I forgot to put that in here. I've got a couple of pictures, so I'm going to put some pictures in here of him, and if you haven't checked out his channel, go give him a shot. Well, everybody, we're about done for the day. I will finish up this part 1, and we will have part 2 coming out next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.